Welcome back to Lore of the Multiverse, where the wildest true stories come alive. Some tales are so bizarre they sound made up. But what if I told you a 77-year-old woman was dragged from her kayak and mauled, not by a bear, not by a gator, but by an otter? That's right, today, we're diving into one of the most unexpected and vicious animal attacks ever recorded. This is the story of Sue Spector, a Florida grandmother who went out for a peaceful paddle, and found herself in the jaws of a furious river predator. So grab your paddle, stay alert, and let's head into the swamps of the Sunshine State. It was a warm February morning in 2018 when Sue Spector and her husband, Marty, joined a group of friends for a serene kayaking trip down Florida's Braden River. The weather was calm, the water slow-moving, and the banks lined with thick green vegetation. For Sue, it was just another beautiful morning on the water, a way to connect with nature and soak in the peace of retirement life. But that peace would be shattered in a matter of seconds. As the group paddled down a quieter stretch of the river, they noticed a family of otters swimming alongside them. Everyone was thrilled. Otters are usually shy, playful creatures. Most people never see them in the wild, let alone up close. Cameras were raised. Smiles flashed. It was shaping up to be the perfect Florida memory. Then, without warning, the mood changed. One of the otters, likely a mother, suddenly turned aggressive. It lunged at one of the kayaks, slapping the water and baring its teeth. The group laughed nervously at first, unsure whether the creature was playing or warning them off. But within moments, it was clear. This otter wasn't just acting territorial, it was going on the offensive. The animal swam directly toward Sue Spector's kayak and launched itself onto the boat with terrifying speed. Before she could react, it was clawing and biting, attacking her arms, legs, and face with shocking ferocity. Sue screamed as the animal latched onto her, trying to fend it off with her paddle. Blood splashed into the water. The kayak rocked violently. Her husband Marty, in a kayak just behind her, could only watch in horror. It was like a horror movie, he later said. You don't expect something that small to be so vicious. Sue tried to push the otter off, but it was relentless, sinking its teeth into her hands, her nose, even the back of her head. At one point, it knocked her into the water. Now she was not only being mauled, but also trying to stay afloat in a murky, gator-filled river. Panic set in. Adrenaline kicked in harder. One of their friends, Mary Lou Gotti, paddled over quickly to help. She used her own paddle to beat at the otter, which finally broke away and disappeared under the surface. The entire attack lasted less than a minute, but the damage was done. Sue was pulled from the water and helped to shore. She was covered in blood, with deep gashes on her face, arms, and torso. I was in pain and in shock, she later told reporters. I couldn't believe this was happening. An otter? Really? Emergency services rushed her to the hospital, where she underwent surgery and received rabies shots. She ended up with over 200 stitches, and lasting nerve damage in one hand. So, what the hell happened? Otters are usually gentle. But experts believe this particular otter may have been either rabid, or protecting pups hidden nearby. Wildlife officials later captured and euthanized an otter matching the description, and confirmed it had rabies. That made Sue's already rare attack even more bizarre, a rabid otter going on a rampage in broad daylight. It wasn't the first time Florida had seen aggressive otter behavior, but this was the most brutal attack in years. And it raised serious questions about how we perceive certain animals. We fear sharks and bears, but what about the creatures that look cute and innocent? Otters have sharp teeth, powerful jaws, and can swim with frightening agility. They're not always playful river clowns. In rare cases, illness, territorial defense, or maternal instinct, they can become violent. In fact, otters have been known to kill alligators in the wild, targeting their throats and staying out of range of the jaws. For Sue, the scars weren't just physical. She says she still has flashbacks of the moment, especially the sound of the otter snarling and the feeling of its claws on her face. It changed how I see nature, she said. You just never know what's going to happen out there, and perhaps that's the lesson. Nature is beautiful, but unpredictable. Even the smallest animals can become nightmares under the right conditions. Sue's story became national news. It was featured on Inside Edition, regional Florida outlets, and wildlife blogs. People couldn't believe it. A rabid otter taking down a kayak and sending a woman to the earth? It sounded like a twisted cartoon. But it was real. And the blood in the water proved it. Today, Sue is back to living her life, though she's a bit more cautious on the water. She's not afraid of nature, but she respects it more than ever. If I can survive that, she laughs, I think I can survive anything, and she's got a point. You might be wondering, what are the odds? How likely is it to be attacked by an otter? Statistically, incredibly low. Otter attacks are extremely rare, especially in North America. You're more likely to be bitten by a dog, struck by lightning, or even attacked by a vending machine, seriously. But when it does happen, it can be deadly. Otters are fast, aggressive, and able to strike from below without warning. If you ever see otters in the wild, especially acting erratic, keep your distance. And don't assume they're safe just because they're small or fuzzy. Remember, this isn't a Disney movie. It's real life. And sometimes, real life bites. If you thought this story was wild, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. Ever had a close call with an animal? We want to hear about it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Lore of the Multiverse for more unbelievable survival stories, one wild tale at a time. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never underestimate what's lurking beneath the surface.